What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and today I want to give you my first impressions on these. Yes, I will be one of the only reviewers you see that hasn't sucked the tits of Apple to get set one for free, and I'm going to give you my honest experience after around 30 hours using the device, setting it up. It's not all positive, but I will be praising Apple at some point, so if you're a Samsung knight, please be aware there is some Apple praising, but a lot of questions. Let's go. So, yes, I decided to take the plunge and buy the Apple Vision Pro 2. They're not the Apple Vision Pro 2. They are a tiny iterative update over the originals. But at the time, a year and a half ago, when the originals came out, I just wasn't in the right financial or content space to justify purchasing a £3,500 piece of tech that £250 worth of other VR headsets can do. But I bit the bullet, and a couple of days ago I went on Apple Online and purchased. Now, I could pick up from the store direct on the same day, within 2 hours, or I could wait 10 days to have mine delivered. Obviously, this video is being made, so you know which option I chose. But yeah, I find it insane that they have them in store, all sizes by the way, because the headbands come in different sizes. We'll talk about that soon. But I find it very strange that it would take 10 days to deliver when they have so many in store. Anyway, so I did book an appointment with a specialist, and this is the first bit of praising I want to give Apple on the pre-buying experience. You can book, anyone can book. You don't have to have purchased a Vision Pro. Anyone can book a 30-minute demo, which, by the way, was more like 50 minutes. And the specialist will take you through all of the coolest features. Obviously, they're going to show it off. They're going to show you all the cool stuff it does. But I'm telling you, pre-buying experience was 10 out of 10. The genius people couldn't have been more helpful. They knew all the answers to questions, and I even threw in a couple of curveballs in there about the M5 chip and how much better it was than the M1 or M2, and they knew all the answers. So fair play, Apple are training their staff absolutely correctly. And with a learning development background, that was my job before all this, I appreciate that. Now the demo itself, as mentioned, they went through everything, and there was a few things that stuck out. Number one, the clarity of the displays. Now, I am aware with the new M5 chip inside the Vision Pros now, it does allow for higher resolution, I think 10 to 15% more pixels per inch, but it also allows for 120 Hz refresh rate. Folks, I am telling you, inside the glasses, the resolution you're getting is unreal. I've owned the Meta Quest, I've owned the Oculus Rifts, all those ones, and the clarity of those doesn't come close to what the Vision Pro was experiencing. And it's all wireless, it's not connected to a PC or MacBook. And then during the demo, a couple of things stood out. Speakers built into the headset, really goddamn good. But last night I watched 2 episodes of The Morning Show through Apple TV Plus and used my AirPods 3 Pro, and they were incredible. The spatial audio combined with the spatial vision and being sat in a cinema, you can custom choose what environment you want to use. It really was like the key selling point of the Vision Pro in my opinion. Although I should also mention I used for about 60, maybe 70 minutes yesterday, I used the Vision Pro as my heads-up display, my display for my virtual desktop. So if you own a MacBook or an iPad, as soon as you have it near it, you turn on your MacBook, you can screen mirror to the Vision Pro. Sometimes a pop-up came up, sometimes it doesn't, but you just go onto your MacBook or your iPad, click screen mirroring, it'll share to the Vision Pro, and with my MacBook, it had an ultra-wide canvas where you did have to turn, and you can pin as many windows as you like. I think it's up to like 300 windows. I obviously didn't, I had Chrome and WhatsApp, but everything that I see on my usual monitor was there in sharper resolution, it seemed to me, and it can be zoomed in. You can use your finger gestures to zoom in, and we'll talk about finger gestures as well. You can also grab the window itself and bring it closer to you with an action. For someone with a visual impairment, that was my biggest concern, because I zoom in, I use that accessibility feature on Mac all the time because I am blind as a fucking bat. But the Vision Pros had the same feature and it was jaw-dropping. So that's some of the praising out the way, but I did just want to touch on the gestures, how you maneuver round the Vision Pro. There's no controller, there's no physical hardware joystick, it's your eyes and your fingers. And once you've set up the Vision Pro, which it talks you through out loud during the setup process, it's super easy to do. But once the Vision Pro's registered your eyes and your hands, oh my God. The way that it can... How do I explain this? If you've got a keyboard, a virtual keyboard in front of you, it can register your eye movements and know exactly where you're looking to the letter. And that's exactly how you navigate through the search window on Safari or whatever browser you've downloaded. And for me, yes, there was a couple of times where naturally your eyes dart somewhere else just because, and it got a misprint, but you just hit the delete button and retype again. It did take a bit of getting used to. Same with the finger gestures. It did take a bit of getting used to. So if you pinch two fingers together and do that, it zooms in. Essentially, you keep your hands on your lap and you just do this. You're like a crab for the day. And again, after about 20 minutes of trying and getting used to it, it's like second nature. It honestly is. It sounds crazy, but your eyeballs and your two fingers let you maneuver around the whole Vision Pro OS seamlessly. So really, really impressed with the LiDAR sensors and all the other magic that's going on with the Apple Vision Pro. Now, I just want to go back to the pre-buying process because you may be someone with glasses. The Vision Pro, like other VR headsets, has an insert, so if you wear glasses, it will go over them. They also have Zeiss lenses, prescription lenses you can use. They've got different inserts, and they've got the new band. I never used the last one, so I didn't experience the bad band. But this one here, with the dual strap, with the connector here, so this thing here on the side, here, you twist to tighten the back, you pull out and twist to tighten the top. And I've got the 21M. I've actually got a fairly small head, believe it or not. Looks like I'm a big fat guy with a big fat head, but no, it's actually quite small. So mine was absolutely fine straight away, but as soon as you tightened it and got it right on, I mentioned last night in bed I watched 2 morning show episodes. Those keen-eyed among you with good math skills will know that that's nearly 2 hours of wearing the headset with no issues at all. You forget it's there, to be honest, which is not anything I've experienced on any VR headset to date. So, Samsung Nights, don't worry, that's most of the praising gone, because we do have to talk about the downsides. This is a £3,500 product. The BOM, the bill of materials on this, is nowhere near £3,500. I would hazard a guess that it costs Apple around 10% of that cost per unit. And I own a business. I'm all for making some profit. But £3,500 is madness. You can make the sensors, the clarity, the sound as good as you like. You're only going to get the Apple butt sniffers, the tech reviewers, or I don't even know who else would benefit from this, but your pool is already niche enough for a product like this. But when you price it 8-9x more than the equivalent from Meta, who are you actually looking to sell this to? And then in terms of the app library, you're really, really limited because obviously there's not many manufacturers or companies out there developing apps for the Vision Pro because it is so niche. So I did feel a little bit after a couple of hours like, I've kind of seen and done it all now. I guess I'll watch a movie or do one of those cool experiences again. And again, the software itself with the different environments you can choose, the ease of use through the apps and the way that you do the gestures, all that is fantastic. But when it's not got enough applications to keep you kind of occupied, that kind of sucks when you've spent so much money on it. And again, this is only like a day and a half later. I will do a full long-term review. But yeah, first impressions, it just feels a bit empty. You know, on Christmas morning, when you've got, I assume when you're younger. If you're still my age and still get lots of presents, then fair play to you. But when you're young, Christmas morning, there's like 30 presents all wrapped waiting for you. You know that feeling you get when they're all open? It's kind of like the Vision Pro for me. Yes, it's cool as hell. Yes, viewing content and using it as a virtual desktop is cool as hell. But then what? For £3,500, I want more, much more. And now the biggest gripe for me so far is showing this thing off. Not in the street or anything, but just to family, friends. Do you know how almost impossible it is to show this thing off? Because when your head is not inside the Vision Pro and it's someone else's head, nothing will work. The gestures will not work, the eye tracking will not work because it's not fixed to their eyes. You have to go through the full setup process again just to let somebody know how it looks and feels like. That is a complete pain in the backside. And I completely get it from a security point of view. But something like this should be made to share. I've got 2 young boys. As soon as they come home and could see me wearing that through the window, they were buzzing to try it. And then that feeling of getting them to try it on and then try to talk them through how to use the gestures and then realising, oh, it's not their fault. It just doesn't work for them because it's not their Vision Pro. Their eyes aren't tracked to it. Their hands aren't tracked to it. Really, really, really disappointing. And I know that if they've got an iPhone or an iPad, they can go through some steps to set up a guest account, which is quite long and convoluted because I have tried. But it shouldn't be that hard. You should be able to just click a little button on the settings on the Vision Pro with a little guest symbol, click guest, give it to someone, and off they go. And yes, keep photos restricted. But I've entered a passcode on here for a reason. So when my son enters the passcode, that should automatically give him access to whatever's on the Vision Pro. So I know Apple are security cautious and conscious, but it's just, yeah, when you've got such an incredible bit of kit for such an expensive price, not being able to show people close to you what it's actually like easily, like the Oculus, yeah, pretty disappointing. So like any expensive tech gadget, or any tech gadget actually, a lot of it is going to be subjective. Most of it is going to be for your use case scenario. From a pure hardware and software perspective, I do think it's super clean. I do think they've built something really quite futuristic and amazing here. If aliens came down from the sky and seen me wearing that, they'd be like, holy shit, that's pretty cool. But from an everyday use, I'm sorry, I just do not see who's going to use this day in, day out. But I will keep trying. So, if you haven't already, please smash subscribe for more content. My regular scheduled content is all about phones, and very soon I'll be dropping a full first impressions with the X300 Pro, a comparison between the X200 Pro and X300 Pro from Vivo, and the Oppo X9. Full review and comparison with the Vivo X300 Pro. If you've enjoyed this video, smash like. And until next time.